Okay, so things are really coming together now. They've got Meghan Markle's mother, apparently, Doria Ragland. She's coming over from the US to meet up with her daughter, and she's going to help out after the birth of little baby Sussex. And I came across this quite good author, actually. We had Katie Nichols last week, and she's pretty negative about Meghan, but found this author called Neil Sean. He's quite balanced with his view about Meghan, so I thought I'd show you what he's got to say about her. And that's his book there. They're all flogging books, aren't they?
Great to have royal commentator Neil Sean back with us from London. Neil, good to see you, buddy.
Hello, how are you?
We're very well. So there are reports that Meghan's mother, Doria, has plans to fly and now stay in London to help the couple with the birth. So what can you tell us about that?
Well, you know, that's the big story today. But what we can tell you first on the show is that she was already been here 2 weeks ago. So she's been here, gone back, and now the story is that she's going to be coming back this week. So
that's something I hadn't heard, that she's already been, like a couple of weeks ago, she was in London. I just missed that. I didn't hear that at all. So I don't know if that's true or not. But it's so hard to know because they make up so much stuff now, don't they? But yeah, apparently she was here a couple of weeks ago in London, and it's coming back, obviously.
that actually, you know, David, makes me wonder if the birth could be this week, because obviously, you know, she'd been disappeared and now come back. But Doria is very close to her daughter, and I think, you know, any worries, any doubts or anything should be on that plane for sure.
Neil, the couple have never been ones to follow royal tradition. We hear they've now snubbed the Queen's delivery doctors for the birth.
And can you imagine that conversation? And by the way, Queenie, we don't need that. No, I think what's interesting here, on a more serious note, is that the story is not actually correct. She hasn't snubbed them. They will be in attendance. But I think, like any young mother, you know, you want to make your own choices, you know. And because they're not senior royals, you've got to remember that they're not that senior now. So consequently, Meghan has a bit more freedom than, say, Catherine, Kate, whichever you call her, does have. So you know, hats off to Meghan. Do what you want. You know, it's your life, it's your choices.
So, what do we believe that? Do we believe that she's having her own obstetrician? Apparently she's got a female obstetrician that she's using. I don't know. I don't know about this at all, whether that's true or not. But it could be true. We'll just have to wait and see. And let's see what else he has to say.
And also, she's breaking ground, royal ground. So it's a good move by her, actually.
Now, do we think that so often a baby sort of heals a lot of things in families? And we know that Meghan's had a lot of trouble with her biological family on her father's side. We know Doria's in the life, but they're not. Do you think this will be a healing child, or will she keep them at arm's length?
Well, you know...
I'll give my opinion. I don't think the father's going to be able to get a look in after all he's done. So I think he's done his dash. I don't think Meghan's going to allow him to be part of the little baby Sussex life. You don't hear anything from him at all now. He's just gone real quiet. I don't know whether that's just to try and earn some brownie points or what's going on. But as it looks right now, I don't think he's going to be allowed to be involved at all. But, all right.
I've got to be honest, David, having seen them up close, I'd keep them at arm's length, you know what I'm saying? I think that the problem that you have is, you know, it's very difficult because it's the trust element on a more serious note, isn't it? You know, even if Meghan and Harry reach out, is Thomas Markle going to dash off to TMZ and report it all, you know? I think it was very ill-informed of him to go on Breakfast TV and do such a long and detailed interview. And that must be very hurtful for her as his daughter, you know. I mean, she will want him in their life, but I think it will be very low key. And I already feel genuinely that there's been some moves already, because you will note, of course, that Thomas Markle has been very, very quiet of late. So I believe some people from the palace have gone over there to smooth something out. People say, why don't Harry and Meghan go? Well, everybody's going to follow that, aren't they? You know, it's a very tricky situation.
Yes,
yeah.
Indeed. What can you tell us about Meghan's relationship with Kate? Is there really a feud, Neil?
Well, you know, look, girls together. The problem that you have there is that, you know, Kate's had a very sheltered life. You know, Meghan's had a very rich life, if you like. You know, she's mixed in many different circles. And while she was new to royal life, Kate was very helpful to her. So they're not the best of chums. There's no way of that. And also, let's not forget, you know, that Kate is a young mum with 3 children. She doesn't have that much time, but she has shown kindness. She has sort of, you know, that lovely picture, that scene last year where they both went to Wimbledon together. I thought that really showed that Kate was really being helpful and kind. But Meghan has her own mind, and having met her myself, you know, I was lucky enough to interview her just before she became royal, if you like. Very, very shrewd girl, very beautiful in the flesh, and always remembers your name in the interview. You know that sort of person? Very clever.
Yeah, well, I mean, she has a very unique relationship with the Queen, which is probably helpful in this family. So what can you tell us about that, Neil?
Well, you know, the Queen, actually, the Queen's favourite is the Countess of Wessex, you know, Prince Edward's wife. You know, she is the number one that the Queen goes to for a chat. But I would say that, you know, Meghan has ingratiated herself very cleverly with the Queen. We saw, you know, last year them going on the trip and the royal train and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and you always notice when Meghan and the Queen are together, the Queen, she doesn't smile a lot usually, does she? And the Queen's always smiling when Meghan's around. So I think they've got a great relationship. I think it's going to be one of the favourites. We all know that Prince Harry is one of the Queen's favourites, that's for sure.
But I think the Queen herself, you know, is very much, whatever people say, she's very much a girl's girl, dare I say. And she does try and connect with the younger members of the family and guide and nurture them. So I think what she's done with Meghan is possibly the kindest thing she's ever done to all the people coming into the family. She's tried to connect as quick as she can to prove that, you know, all these terrible sort of stories about her being unkind to previous people are certainly not the case. The Queen is a very, very warm and gentle lady.
I think she's he's referring to Princess Diana there, the previous people. So that didn't go down too well, did it? When I remember at the time when Princess Diana died and the Queen did a speech and it seemed very cold. So I think that went down like a lead balloon in England.
Close.
Neil, you don't believe Meghan will take much time off after giving birth. Why is that?
Basically because she's a worker, you know, she comes from a different ethic, you know, so the bottom line is she knows if you're out of the limelight, people forget you. Now, I'm not saying that that's what she's about, but, you know, the fact that people say, oh, she sends 5 a.m. emails and she's a little difficult to the staff. No, she's not. She's used to a Hollywood-style life, you know, where things work to schedule and she wants certain things done. One of the things I can tell you here on the show that Meghan finds very difficult in Britain is the speed of the way that everything goes. Say like the builders at Frogmore House, they do take an age. I don't know if it's the same in Australia, but builders are always slow, whatever happens. And Meghan thought, why is this taking so long? And when she had a word with Harry, he tried to jig them along. So for her, I think she thinks, look, you know, I work quickly, everybody else should work quickly. I think she'll enjoy motherhood, but it won't be the sort of traditional royal motherhood that we all remember and know.
Well, it's great to have you again on the show, Neil. The book is called The Complete A to Z of the World's Most Glamorous Couple. It will be available later on this month on Amazon and all good bookstores. There it is. See you, mate. Good to see you.
Thank you, Neil.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so I quite like that fella. What's his name? Neil Sean. Interesting name. But I'll put him on the possible good source list. He seems quite credible. You know, could be fooling me. Who knows? But at least he's interviewed Meghan, which is some of these reporters I doubt have even interviewed her. I've never interviewed her, that's for sure. So, all right. So could be a week away. The baby could be. I'm thinking. I'm still sticking by 23rd or 24th of April. That's my predicted date, and we'll see how I go with that prediction. Time will tell how accurate I am. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button, hit the like button, so you can get notifications of when my next video comes up. Hit the bell button and share around to your friends. And it's getting exciting now, isn't it? It's only, I'd say, 3 weeks maximum until the baby is due. Little baby Sussex. Okay, that's all for now. Bye.